Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for Render. The last video, I think we were around $10 and we were expecting continuation. We've gotten a little bit of that, but I wanted to discuss the scenario where Bitcoin drops from now, which I think could take down the alts, at least for another move to the downside just on the short term. So I have two counts I'm tracking at the moment. Now, since the low, we had very ugly diagonal. When you're getting newer projects and you come into price discovery, if you've followed along on other videos, you can get really ugly structures. You have to pay more attention to fib levels and try and get as clean of a count as you can. And one of two things usually happens. Either we break out and push price very, very high in price discovery, or we reject and we kind of trend sideways in a range. My viewpoint is we're going to take off in render, but the question is from where. And if Bitcoin does make that C wave we've been tracking between like 58,000 and 64,000 ish, it can pull everything down in the market, at least like 15 to 30% ish, which would take us for a retest at price discovery. So I wanted to give you those two scenarios in case we get that drop on Bitcoin. Now, first scenario is we're continuing up on this third wave in white, and we end up targeting, it can get extended, but around $34 for the 1.618 extension of wave 1 off wave 2 of one lesser degree. But we can get extended here a little bit. But that's scenario one. In that scenario, we protect the 618 area as per guidelines of this last microwave up. I'll show you that in a moment. And scenario two is we have the labeling off by 1, and we need a little bit deeper retracement here, retesting price discovery levels between, say, 770 and, say, 650, that area where we have 5 waves up. You can see that in gray I have labeled, and we need a correction back to like the 382 would be ideal, but as low as like the 5618. So that's scenario 2. Now my plan is to trade both, and just in case we get continuation here, it's going to be tough to catch that price. So we'll go down to the smaller time frames. You can see my price discovery area there. The question I have is how to count this last wave. I can get 5 waves up into here. It's not ideal. And I can also get 5 waves up into here. Difference being, if I count this as a diagonal, wave 1, I'll show you those Fibonacci levels. We get our wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If I pull our Fibonacci levels on that micro of that last wave, you can see we hit the 1.618 if this is our third wave, came back to the 100 as expected for our fourth, and we ticked up through, hit like the 2.618-ish, maybe even higher, and just above the 2.618. So this is why I have this gray option. And the only difference in those scenarios is how deep we expect this next correction. I think if Bitcoin drops, we get this deeper wave 2, and this becomes our third one too. But if this is a fourth one too, we should only correct to say, $8.50, $9, if even that, because sometimes we get 382s. So this is the area where I'm at, and I'm going to take both. I'm going to consider this as a potential fourth one too, and we continue on, and also just as the third one too. So I'll have buy orders in both scenarios. And obviously this entire sequence is invalidated at this wave 2 level here, which is pretty far away from us at around 335. So I'll go to the first scenario here in a moment, but in this scenario where this is a 1-2, remember this is our buy zone here. Stop just between 560 and 768 and stop just past the 618. Not financial advice, just the guidelines I'm giving you. And in the scenario where this is our 1, 2, 1, 2, which doesn't look the greatest, but again, I'm just going to take it anyways for that scenario, is we'd pull our pivots from that last wave from 587 to our high around 1271, and my buy zone is being between the 236382 and the 50. Stop past the 618. Sorry. First video of the day. Get a little word issues. So off this last wave, it looks like a 1, 2, 3. That looks like a fat flat, 4, 5. That's our third. Either a running flat or that is our correction, and it looks like a diagonal. So from our high, I would expect this to be our fifth wave high over here, and we're making a complex correction. Or this is our fifth wave high. Hard to discern because it looks like there's 5 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double top. Yeah, I still like the fifth wave better here. It looks better as a diagonal. So in that scenario, you can see we're just drifting sideways. I don't expect this to get away. But what I would consider that, looks like 5 down to here. So this looks like a flat WXY ABC for our W. Getting an A, B, C, W, X, Y, C. So it looks like we could get a move up here, make our W, X, Y, and then continue on to the downside to our buy zone areas. I don't expect it to get away from us. This looks corrective. It is not impulsive. We've got 3 up from this low. So again, that looks like an A wave, and then we get a WXY here looking for that C wave before we continue to the downside. Or we can come down, here, make a running flat where we protect that previous high and continue on from here. But yeah, it looks like we need further downside correction. The question is, do we pivot from this zone or the zone below down here? It depends all what this count is. So watching BTC very closely, because it's going to give us the best outlook of when alt season is going to start. So right now, considering this most likely a WXY. And if we do come up higher here, we grind up. I would expect this to make a flat. We got 3 waves here. We'd make 3 and 5, and then I would get bias that we have 4 1-2s, where this is actually our 1-2. So that's where probabilities would shift for me, that we are that bullish. And if we just trend sideways here, continue on down, this is where that correction can just get bigger, and we come down to this being our wave 1 high, and we need a very deep 2. We just grind like this, making a series of 3 wave corrective patterns till we finally get our buy zone. But yeah, excited for Render. It looks like a very good opportunity, just not quite ready yet. But we will get some clarity here, whether we have 4 1-2s in a row or 3, and we get our deeper correction down between 560 and 768. So I will be watching this closely. Don't worry, I will update it. But it looks good at the moment. Just need that further downside. All right, guys, that's it for Render. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.